just made this huge pile of books and now I have to organize them into separate piles. Okay. Okay. I know you're asking yourself two completely different questions right now. You're just in luck. I'll answer both of them. First of all, you're saying, Destiny, isn't it a little bit too early for fall TBRs? Also, you were asking, Destiny, those glasses are so cute. Where did you get them from? Well, first of all, no. Fall is a mindset, and I am in it. Second of all, I know that you're asking about the glasses, and they are from none other than today's sponsor, which is Pair Eyewear. You guys know that I've talked about them and worked with them so many different times before, so thank you so much to Pair for sponsoring today's video. Now, I can literally personally attest to Pair Eyewear. You guys see me wear them all of the time. My cute little pink frames that I wear all of the time in past vlogs and videos that you've seen. And these are from Pair. These are my prescription ones. I also have the blue light lenses in them as well since I spend so much time on the computer. There are so many different things that I love about Pair. Obviously, I love how affordable they are and how easy and simple it is to purchase a pair. But I think the thing that I love the most about Pair is just how unique they are. And that is definitely because of their top frame. So these are the base frames. I am currently wearing the Murphys and I absolutely love these. I feel like these are also the perfect for a fall look, but I can customize my look and make them even more stylish and personal to me with top frames. Now, Pair has so many different top frames and it's so easy the way they work. They just have these magnetic strips on the back right here. Boom, that's all you do and it changes the complete look of your glasses. I have this color. Boom, it just snaps on like so. They are so convenient and stylish and you can personalize them in so many ways. They literally have so many top frames on their website. But the first step is always to find your base frames, and finding your base frames, Pair makes it as simple as possible. All you have to do is use their virtual try on tool. I literally do it from the comfort of my bed or from the comfort of this chair, and I see what frame fits my face the best, and then I pick my base frame. Then from there I pick whatever top frames I want. Voila, they come to the doorstep. They're super affordable. I skip the awkwardness and anxiety inducing having to go into a store to try on glasses, and I just get them delivered to my front doorstep and absolutely love them. If you guys want to get your first pair of Pair Eyewear, you guys can use the link down in the description. Get 15% off your first pair. I have the code DESREADING15. All of the information is going to be down below and up on the screen right now. Thank you so much again to Pair for sponsoring today's video, and you guys are going to be helping me through my fall TBR. Now, to be super annoying and to dive into what I know some people hate talking about the fall time before October or even probably late September for most people. I understand. I am that way when winter rolls around. I absolutely despise winter. It is one of the most depressing months for me. But for me, September begins fall season. Football's back, okay? Even though it is literally over 100 degrees in Texas, fall is a state of mind. It is literally over 100 degrees and I'm wearing the sweater right now. You guys are about to watch an expansive, and I mean expansive, fall TBR. But I'm basically just telling you guys with this is that I definitely 100% will not get to every single one of these books. It's just so unrealistic to even act like I would. All of these are on my radar, and hopefully these would also put some of these books on your radar. That's mostly what I'm doing it for, to share what I'm going to be reading this fall and to help you guys maybe find some books that you want to read this fall. Also, for me, fall is like September all the way to Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, I'm like, okay, it's winter. It's Christmas time. It's winter. It's no longer fall. I go from September to like the end of November with my fall reads. Let's get into them, shall we? I have them all split up into categories. The first one that we're going to talk about are actually new releases. Some of these aren't out yet. Some of these will release kind of later into the fall, or they're just new releases that I have not got yet. First of all, we have Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. Now, here's the thing. I never thought I would see a day after Beautiful World, Where Are You, where I said that I was going to read a new Sally Rooney release. However, I recently read Normal People, well, reread it. I gave that book a 4 stars. I actually think about it so much that I'm like, it may have to be a higher rating. Like, the amount of times I think about Normal People is a lot more than even some of the books that I rated a 4 stars. A little backstory, if you didn't know, I actually used to hate Normal People. I was like, I don't like it at all. I read it when I was like 18, I think. And there is something about getting older where certain books do just hit different with different life circumstances that you have earned with your age. But now I am just very interested to see what else Sally Rooney is going to do. So I'm just very interested to pick up this new release. Next up is Daydream by Hannah Grace. This isn't specifically a like fall atmospheric read. Not all of these are. These are just ones that I kind of have my eyes set on for the next few months. And Daydream, definitely, like when I read Wildfire by Hannah Grace, I feel like these books are just very cozy. Next up is Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. I think this comes out like later November. This one I'm very excited for. I actually really do enjoy the Blue Rebel Ranch. Kind of gives me the same vibes of Chestnut Springs, to be honest with you guys, so I really do enjoy it. Another one that I'm very, very excited about picking up is Wild Eyes. This actually comes out in September, and I am counting down the days. Wild Love was one of my 5-star reads this year, as you guys know, and this is the second book in that series, and I am so excited to see where we go from it. For those of you who love the single dad trope, I'm pretty sure it was said somewhere that every single book in the series is a single dad, so have fun with that. And then lastly, I think this also comes out in September if I'm not mistaken, which is Nothing Like the Movies. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I kind of feel like I'm at the point where I am very much aging out of young adult. I am only 21 years old, but I kind of feel like all of the other young adult books that I've picked up, they just don't hit, and it's very unfair for me to keep picking up young adult knowing that it probably just doesn't hit for me because of the level that it's at. But that's really only applies for romances. I still read young adult thrillers and young adult fantasy because I feel like they just are great. I feel like those stick with it, but there's something about the young adult romances that I just personally feel like I'm aging out of a little bit. But something about Lynn Painter's young adult books I eat up, and they don't feel like super immature for me to be reading, and I really am very excited for this one. This is a sequel that is said to be packing a lot of emotional depth. Kind of on that same note, let's go over to all of the romance books that I have on my radar. Here are all of the romance books that I have on my radar. None of these, or not really a lot of these, have a specific fall backdrop. Sometimes I feel like I really go into the fall time really overdoing it, because here's the thing about me, even in the summertime, I don't read realistically a lot of atmospheric reads. Like I don't read a whole lot of books set at the beach or set during the summertime, so I feel like those get a little old and tired to me. I don't reach for them a whole lot, but I like a few thrown in there. What I am looking for is a cozy type of vibe within this story, something that will make me feel nice and cozy. First of all, we have Ghosted. I started reading this back in 2022, and I could actually tell you exactly where I stopped and exactly what has happened in the plot up until that point. I just remember being in such a bad book slump when I started reading this book that I literally got 150 pages in and then ended up just putting the book down. Not even because I wasn't enjoying it. I remember enjoying it. I was just like, I don't feel like reading, and then I literally never picked it back up again. This one I think is a second chance. It is like a then and now perspective told via journals entries that the main girl had, and I think the main guy is kind of like a Marvel superhero in this world. Like he plays one, not that he is a Marvel superhero, he plays one on screen, in case there was any confusion on that front. You never know, so I had to clarify. She has a past with him, and he comes back around, and you're... Next up, we have Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood. Listen, this came out like 2 months ago. I think it came out in June, and I love Allie Hazelwood. I'm honestly very surprised that I have not picked this up yet. I think it was because I was waiting for the reviews to roll in. I think I literally got like 18 pages into this book and then stopped reading it. It was because I had seen a lot of people talking about how it kind of had no plot. It didn't even feel like the two characters really liked each other, all of this stuff. But then on the other hand, I saw so many reviews of people raving about it, so I'm interested on making an opinion myself. When I did pick this up, I just honestly wasn't in the biggest reading mood, so picking this back up as well, another book that I'm wanting to pick back up and give another shot. Next up, we have Just Last Night, and I feel like with this one, it's going to pack an emotional punch is another thing that I'm looking for. I want something that feels cozy and something that feels emotional. If you guys have watched one of my, or I think it is my most recent reading vlog, which is reading the saddest book, I really have been talking about how I am just yearning for more emotional reads, something that makes me feel something. Of course, I still like the light fluffy romances, but I feel like those are more like palette cleansers as to where I'm at right now with my book taste. I've heard that this one packs an emotional punch. Next up is a book that I picked up recently. This is Worst in Show. This is said to be You've Got Mail, but like with dogs. I think it's a rival, he's the rival pet shop owner to her grandpa's pet store. They kind of have to like compete in this dog show together, or they're competing against each other. I think. But Abby Jimenez has a blurb on it, a funny twist on You've Got Mail with Dogs. Sign me up. You've Got Mail is one of my favorite rom-coms ever, and I love dogs. So this one just seems, again, like a cozy little rom-com. Next up, this one is probably one of the only actually atmospheric romance books that I have, which is Haunted Ever After. This one I actually am about to bring on Family Vacation with me. It's like the perfect mix, and Ashley Poston actually has a review on the front. This one actually takes place in Florida, and I think she buys this house and it's haunted and she's trying to renovate it. Seems like a fun little time. 1-star romance, and Annabelle Monaghan actually has a review on the front. And if you guys know, Annabelle Monaghan is a author that I discovered this year and quickly became one of my favorite authors. So again, a lot of these books that you're seeing are recommended via my favorite authors, but this one I think it's about, he writes a 1-star review about her book. She's the maid of honor and he's the best man, so they have to be in the wedding together, and she finds out that he left a 1-star review on her book. It just seems like such an interesting plot, like as an from an author's point of view, not that I'm one, but from the author that wrote this, it seems like such an interesting plot. So we have 1-star romance. This one I've been seeing floating around so much, and this one I feel like will be good for the fall time because of the theming it has going on. It kind of reminds me of The Dead Romantics, which is definitely a book that I would recommend for the fall time. This is Love of My Afterlife. So basically I think our main character dies. She meets this really hot guy in the afterlife, but then somebody's like, oh, there's a mistake, and so he gets sent back down to earth, and she basically has this deal where she gets to go back down and find him. It just seems like a really fun plot, and even though it's like super like colorful and kind of the cover would give you a summer vibe, I kind of feel like it'll be a cozy good fall read. But next up we have kind of an atmospheric one. This one is Happy Medium. Oh, she's a fake medium and she's hired to go to this guy's farm and see like what's going on, and then she kind of finds out she can actually talk to ghosts. Lastly in this category we have The Fiancé Dilemma. Actually around this time last year I read the book that is like another one in the series, The Long Game. So this is kind of like the second book in this series, but it follows completely 2 different people, so it's like companion novels. I don't think you have to read one to read the other unless you really care about like spoilers of knowing if the couple ended up together or not, which, you know. Oh, they have a fake engagement. I don't know much about this one, but I remember being excited for this couple when I finished The Long Game. Those are all of the romances that I have. Something about me is recently I've learned that I'm very into literary books and ones with an emotional story, even maybe a romance subplot. You know, I am a romance girly at heart. I've been really enjoying reading the literary genre, so I actually have quite a few literary books. A bunch of them that I like know almost for sure that I'm going to get to are Kristen Hanna. I actually read for the first time my senior year of high school. I read my first Kristen Hanna book, which was Firefly Lane, which is one of the books that changed my life. And then I didn't pick up another Kristen Hanna book until I read The Women and I read The Nightingale, all in the past month. So I read 2 books by her, and I'm just so into what she's doing. 3 books that are at the very top of my TBR with her this fall. So first of all we have The Four Winds. This is probably the one I'm going to get to the soonest out of all of these. This is about the Texas 1921. It's the Dust Bowl, The Great Alone, which I know a lot of people say absolutely amazing things about, and this one I feel like just talked about. I feel like The Nightingale and The Great Alone are the 2 that are talked about. I would definitely say The Four Winds is the 3rd one. That's like her big 3. I feel like that everybody raves and raves and raves about. After I read The Nightingale, these 2 were nonstop in the comments of that video talking about how you guys can't wait to see me read them, so you will be seeing me read them this fall. That's a promise, okay? And then I also have Homefront, another one that I'm very excited about. As soon as I saw the cover on Goodreads, I immediately marked it as want to read. This is Humor Me. I think this is literary fiction, but I think it has some romance into it, partly because it literally has the couple on the front. She's an assistant on this late night show. She's struggling with the recent loss of her mother, and then she wants to get into stand-up comedy. So it's a whole lot. I think this book is going to give what romantic comedy did not give me that I was wanting in it, and I have very high hopes for this book. Next up we have Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I recently read 2 of Frederick Bachman's books last month, and would you know, they were both 5-star reads for me. Never would have expected it, but I have had this one on my radar since I was a senior in high school. That was another comment that I got in the video saying that, Destiny, you need to read Anxious People. I think that you would absolutely relate to and love it. So lo and behold, we have it on the fall TBR, and this is definitely towards the top of the list. Also we have This Is How You Lose, The Time War. This one's a pretty short read. I've also heard that this one's very uniquely written, and I've heard a lot about this story throughout the years of like being on BookTube. I feel like it's circulated around quite a bit, and it honestly has such good reviews, and a lot of people hold this book very near and dear to their heart. We have A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. I think this is technically a classic. Yeah, the beloved American classic about a young girl's coming of age at the turn of the 20th century. And I randomly one night, like in the middle of the night, I'm talking like 2, 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep, and I saw that this was on Kindle Unlimited, downloaded it, and I started reading it. I have no recollection of reading it because I didn't get very far, but ever since then it's been stuck in my mind, and now I want to read it. I feel like it would be a good read for the fall. A few more in the literary sense. I know, guys, I know what you're thinking. These are so many books, and you're not getting all of them. I understand. We have The Night Circus. This has been sitting on my TBR for probably over a year now. This one has like magical realism to it, but it's definitely more literary, like you find it in the fiction section of your Barnes & Noble. I'm pretty sure, is this not about 2 magicians that one of them has to die? Yeah, only one can be left standing, and they fall in love. High stakes. I'm very excited for it. Like, I've always wanted to read this book because I feel like I've always seen it be 50-50, where people love it or people are like indifferent to it. I don't really think anybody like hates it, or at least I haven't seen anybody say that they hate it. It's very 50-50, and I'm very interested to see where I stand. And also, fun fact, Sarah actually sent me this book. Last but certainly not least for this category, I have 2 classics that I want to get to this fall. That is Pride and Prejudice and Little Women. These are 2 that have definitely like heavy romance plots with it. No, I need to get through both of these at least. Like, I need to get these 2 classics read. Gonna take a quick break and go into some nonfiction that I want to read this fall. So that's going to be Just Kids by Patti Smith. I actually started this at the end of last year, and I'm pretty close to the end of it. I had audiobooked a whole lot of it, and that's how I like to take in a lot of my memoirs. I don't have a whole lot of it left, so very excited for that. And then also we have The Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath. I started reading this a few months ago. It's definitely one that you have to like go through over the course of months. I definitely want to read it a little bit at a time. It's just such a heavy book. It's literally just her inner monologue within these journals. Obviously, once we get into spooky season, as we call it, I want to get into some thriller/horror, but I hate having to like put the pressure on those, so I don't have a whole lot of them. First of all, though, I would love to finish Middle of the Night. I have literally got 30% into this book and could not get past the 30% mark. Not because the book was bad or anything, but it was because I was just not in a reading mood. But this was one of my more anticipated releases, especially the first half of the year. So I'm wanting to finish it. I have some questions for you. I think this is probably more literary than thriller or anything. It's probably more mysterious fiction, but this is about this woman has a podcast. She used to go to this school, and I think her roommate died, and so they asked her to come back and like teach, but she's trying to figure out the mystery of the roommate situation. We also have Salem's Lot. I actually picked this up last year wanting to read it during this season, but I didn't ever get to it, but I really want to get to this one. I recently just finished a Stephen King book that I really liked, and I want to get more into and dive back into his horror books. Also, I have 2 books that I don't have physical copies of. Horror Movie is one of them. I have this actually on my Kindle. And then we also have Incidents Around the House. The reason that this is on my radar is that people are literally saying that this like actually terrified them, and they don't get terrified by horror books. Like I looked to the people who read horror, and they were saying like, this is so terrifying, and I feel like I don't get terrified from books. So this one is purely like, is it going to scare me? Guys, I know. This is a lot of books. I know. Whew. Anyway, this is over the next 3 months. Remember that. We have fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Fantasy, sci-fi, whatever you want to call these books, ranging from adult to young adult. So let's get into them, shall we? My camera battery is going to die soon, so I cannot go too much into detail. First of all, we have Lightlark. I'm actually very interested because I had seen a lot of people talk about Nightbane, which is the next book. This one, I remember the author like marketing it as like the Hunger Games. Then we have Fear the Flames. Actually not too sure what's going on in this one, but I have seen this one circulating around Bookstagram, and people that I follow talk about this one and really love it. So I'm very excited because I love when other people love stuff. Then we also have Olivia Blake's One for My Enemy. This one is just kind of atmospheric but fantasy at the same time. I'm pretty sure it's a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but I think they're witches. Next up, we have An Ember in the Ashes. I've heard great things about this series, like so many great things, and I know Sarah has recently read this first book. Her brother is arrested for treason. She's forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for them within the Empire's greatest military academy. So I'm guessing she goes to this academy to spy. Okay, I don't know why Joy lands in here by Stephen King, but this is also one. I don't know if this falls under horror or just literary fiction within his writing. I don't know, or it's a mix of both. This is a series that I've wanted to pick up for such a long time. I feel like the fall is the perfect time. This is Scythe. I'm pretty sure they, like, I think it's 2 people. I don't think anybody can die in this world, but the Scythes are the only people who can kill people. We'll see what happens with that one. We have the Poppy War. I'm very scared, but also excited to dive into this one. This one I feel like so many people absolutely love, and I am I've just been very scared to dive into it, but if you guys tell me that you guys love it, this one will get put to the top of the list. But I do really want to read it. I feel like I've also been seeing TikToks about this recently. Nobody freak out. I'm definitely going to be reading this from September to the end of the year, and it will have its own video, I promise, but I've seen it so split of if I should read it during the fall time or if I should read it during like the holidays. So I'm starting it in September and kind of going through the end of the year with it, which is Harry Potter. I have never read nor seen the movies, and I'll be reading Harry Potter, the series, for the first time. Not just this one book, but the series is up there. I didn't want to take the whole entire series down. Harry Potter. That's going to be happening. When the Sky Fell on Splendor. This is one of Emily Henry's, we'll call it, backlist. This is her sci-fi novel, and I just thought it would be very interesting. Kind of gives me Stranger Things vibes a little bit. We have Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. I read Red Rising last year, and I remember so much about the book. I never rated it because I literally didn't know, but I want to dive into it before, like, maybe that knowledge of what happened in the book goes away, and just see, like, if I can get an opinion on the series from the second book. And then lastly, in this category, we have City of Ashes, Cassandra Clare. Everybody can say thank you to bestie Rachel because she single-handedly gave me the motivation to get back into Cassandra Clare. I have a new pep in my step to get through the next 2 books in this, and then I can go over to the Infernal Devices and read those 3 and then come back to this series. Last but certainly not least, these are all of the, I call them atmospheric reads. So these are ones that are like, you literally look at the cover or you hear the synopsis and you're like, yeah, that's a fall book. First of all, we have Truly Devious. This is a young adult, like, mystery type of novel, and it takes place at a boarding school. I was so excited to read this last year and then never picked it up. It was because I got so burnt out so quickly of all of the, like, atmospheric fall books. This one is said to be like When Harry Met Sally. I really enjoy that movie, so let's see if this one lives up to that. We also have The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. I've heard that this is just like a nice, cozy, fun time. We also have Small Town Big Magic. Kind of the same vibe as, like, I feel like the X-Hex. If you guys read that, where it's like kind of witchy in a small town, feels like Gilmore Girls or Halloween Town. I feel like this one's giving kind of that same vibe. This will probably be read in October. It's Agatha Christie. It says Halloween Party, okay? Lastly, but certainly not least, we have A Deadly Education. This one I have heard so many different things about throughout the years, and that people absolutely love this. I know this is a series. I know it's about, like, I think, is it kids in this world who have the powers? Like, there's monsters who want to kill them because of their powers, so they get sent to the school to kind of learn how to defend themselves. I forgot one book. I have to hurry up because my camera's getting hot because it's sitting in the Texas sun. But we have Babel by R.F. Kuang. I tried to read this last year and never fully finished it, but it's been sitting on my shelf and I know that I want to read it. Please tell me what you guys think of Babel and if you think that I'm going to like it and if I should read it. Okay, well, those are every single book that I have. That's the ice cream truck. That scared me. Doesn't that sound creepy a little bit? That's every single book that I have on my fall TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys got some book recommendations / books that are now going to be on your radar that maybe we can read together through the fall time. If you guys did, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff you guys know how to do. Thank you so much again to Pear Eyewear for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to visit the link down in my description. Use the code DESREADING15. I'm going to have everything linked down below. The ice cream truck is literally going down my street, so I need it in the video. Okay, I love you guys so much. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.